we pivot to founders that have legacy or brand driven industries. And the first person that comes to mind is Arnold Palmer,
Mhm.
the legendary golfer. He built a brand. He's built a brand. He's formed plenty of strategic alliances, but his model that he built was struggling to scale. And so, even though it's backed by a premium brand and name by himself, what have you found that made him struggle to scale his operation?
Well, yeah, just a little background. Mr. Palmer had a variety of businesses, as I'm
Yeah.
sure you know. One of his businesses was the design business, which architectural design of golf courses, which flourished. Um, he had a management company, which I worked for a couple of years. We were attempting to create the Palmer brand on golf courses and to roll up golf courses into a real estate investment trust. Um, so it was a separate entity that wasn't that he was involved with, but he wasn't in an active day-to-day
Mm-hmm.
business. Um, and I think we had two issues with kind of expanding that concept. One was we had a capital partner that didn't match our business plan. We had a private equity oriented investor who is looking for a return in a short period of time. Building um, a franchise business model, which was really franchising branded business model, takes time. You
Yeah.
don't do that overnight, and so there wasn't a capital match between the growth plans and the capital. Number
Gotcha.
two, there's kind of when you're looking to change an industry, and we were looking to take a service philosophy to golf that you might have seen with companies like Home Depot, where you're providing instruction, you're providing retail at sort of competitive prices,
Yeah.
and you're providing an experience that's consistent from one course to another. Well, that was a great idea, but you're working with people in the golf industry who don't think they need to change.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it it was difficult to make those modifications to personal behaviors for people that work in the industry.
Yeah.
So that's the thing with expanding the brand. People, customers on an Arnold Palmer managed golf course
Yeah.
expect the things that Mr. Palmer was known for.
Got you. Got you. Yeah. Just because
And
his name was behind it.
well, they have a higher expectation because
Oh
his
yeah.
name was behind
Yeah.
it
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
over
Yeah.
what a non-branded course would be.
Got you. Got
And
you.
if you don't deliver and exceed those expectations, you're not going to succeed.
Yeah. And I'm sure he had investors behind him. Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. And they were expecting returns as well.
Yeah,
So wow. Shoot, I'd love a deal with Arnold Palmer. I mean, I'm not a big golfer, but I
yeah,
mean, shoot, just to have his name behind anything.
yeah.
So
It comes with a high cost. I mean, you've really
yeah.
got to operate above and beyond what anybody else does when you have
Yeah.
that kind of brand that is representing your business.
Wow. And so while we talk about big names, like so the franchise experience that I was interested in was the McDonald's concept.
Mhm.
And then that founder, Ray Kroc,
Mhm.
who founded him and his brother founded the concept selling ice cream machines, I believe, or selling equipment to McDonald's before they purchased it. But when everyone thinks of McDonald's, they think of Ray Kroc. And ironically, McDonald's is a real estate business. They don't just sell burgers, but they sell real estate, and they own their real estate too. Or they're mainly a real estate company. And so with human centric brands, is there are there limits to becoming a scalable system when it comes to having someone's name back behind a franchise brand like that?
Well, um, yeah, I think McDonald's is probably less Ray Kroc than it is McDonald's.
Gotcha.
And I think, McDonald's was first and foremost in the fast food business. They provided a, a price point that majority of the demographics in the early 60s and 70s, it met service oriented. They developed a service oriented culture, second to none, that really everybody sort of followed. Service times, friendliness of service, a marketing program, and all these things are brand elements. They're not Ray Kroc. They're not. They're. It's what McDonald's means to the customer. So
Yeah.
that to me is, and it's true with any real brands out there. If you are going to stay at a Marriott, you expect a certain level of service. You expect a nice restaurant. You expect a nice room with upgraded linens and
Yeah.
so those are kind of
white glove
brand
service.
brand elements that I think are important. When you start, and we talked about the Palmer thing, I think when you start with a person in a brand, it's just a slippery slope. You've
Yeah.
got to really have a concept nailed down before you kind of blow it out and expand on it.
Yeah. I mean, just going back to the Arnold Palmer story, do you think that their company had enough resources to scale, but maybe just the expectations were too high with all the customers?
Yeah, I think for a limited time there was resources to scale that brand, but it was more the execution of it.
Gotcha.
And in the sort of, I don't want to say the nature of the golf course operators, the was just um, inherited.
Yeah.
They've
Oh,
always
gotcha.
done it this way. They're not
Yeah.
going to change, no
Yeah.
matter if Arnold Palmer's name on it or not.
Yeah.
So we'd go in and we'd convert a course and put up the signage and branding, and the pro was supposed to be out on the
Yeah.
driving range giving free lessons, and
Yeah.
the merchandise was supposed to be, less than what you'd expect in a normal pro shop.
Yeah.
And the minute supervision would leave, they'd go back to the way they always operated.
Yeah.
So it was kind of tough to pull that off when you didn't have buy-in from your operations staff on site.
Gotcha.
And then, dealing with the investor was saying, we need results, we need to.
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Of
It
course.
wasn't a good match. So I think that's a good lesson is, make sure that your capital that's supporting you is a good match with your business plan.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, financial planning is definitely a big piece of a business success for sure.